Okay, these videos are not quite as good. This first piece here, it's under a little better focus, so you can see a little bit better. But, you know, as you look at this, you'd say, well, he's over the edge of, he's on the other side of where the Earth starts curving. But you'll notice as I turn my camera and point in a different direction, these things will come to the surface. And what's causing this? Probably these swells, and you can actually see these swells swelling up behind this guy on the jet ski. You can see the different layers, the different swells out there in the water, and that's what they're behind. They're behind a swell because my camera is set low. You know, on that angle, the angle and the distance that that boat is at is causing the wave to block out the boat, okay, because he's on the other side of that swell. Now, again, this is a real windy day, so I am, you know, looking at the way water moves and how if you take a fan or a large, say a bathtub, even a pool, and you blow wind from one direction, you will pile that water up towards one side of the pool. Same way when a hurricane or, you know, water spouts come in towards land, they start pushing that water whichever way that wind's blowing toward the land, and it'll build up a wall of water. You know, hurricanes do this, and, you know, nobody has a problem with understanding a hurricane's tidal surge. Well, when it's windy out, you have these waves, these swells that occur out there, and they start making, you know, sea level very unlevel. You will have pockets where it's up, it's down. Now, see here, I look at this boat, and it's, you know, not quite as far underneath or on the other side of that swell, and that's because it isn't as far out. Then I will get some boats that are even further out, but they'll be on top of that swell. And, you know, a lot of times too, when these birds fly down, and some of these birds will fly down real low to the water, they'll get behind that swell and they'll disappear. Now, when that sky is mirroring, or that water is mirroring the sky really bad, you won't see this water. And like I said in the last video, it's very seldom that I'm able to see these boats this far out on the horizon line. And due to the atmospheric conditions this day, I was able to. And, you know, that's the whole purpose of observations, is determining what causes certain things to occur, you know, on whatever subject you're looking into. And mine is, I do a lot of videos of boats on the edge of this horizon line. And again, if you follow my channel and you watched a lot of my boat videos, you will notice this. I mean, it took me all the way till now to start noticing different things that I'm seeing on this horizon line. So in turn, you know, by watching and observing my videos, I start saying, wow, I'm seeing different things. I'm seeing new things. So then I want to find out what causes these effects and what exactly are these effects that it causes. And I can tell you that there's many things that are causing these effects. Your atmospheric condition, your tides, your winds, your light, your position of your light, you know, angular resolution, refraction, diffraction, the mirroring. And like I said, this particular day, you don't really see any mirroring. Now, at the very edge of that visible water line, you'll see like this little, I don't know, it's like a white raised up line that you see just above it, and that's a diffraction, being way farther out there in the horizon. Now, as you're looking at this video, you know, you look at this water that's at the bottom of the screen. It is the distance, you know, say you go up an inch is, you know, so many feet, but the further you go up, the further that 1 inch is going to be equivalent to. So, you know, if you go to the top of the screen, to the top of the water, and you do an inch, there could be, you know, a mile in that little inch, or even a half an inch. It could be a mile right there. So, you know, your depth perception is thrown off. And that really does confuse people when they are looking out on long distances. Like I said, normally, you know, when you walk out to the beach, you'll get this water line that appears out there, and that's what appears to be your horizon line. But that alone is an illusion. It's a deception, because most of the time, like I say, when I go out here on the water, anything above the water line is just starting to mirror the sky. But this particular day, I did not get all of that mirroring occurring. So it tells me that it has to be atmospheric conditions that has caused this. Plus two, you know, all right, we have an overcast day. It's windy. You do see some light coming in here because you see the sparkling of the sun off the water. And, you know, if you look even further back, you see these sparkles. But where you don't see the sparkles is down in them swells. You're not seeing those sparkles really in them swells. So in turn, again, you know, you have water that's not completely level out there. There's dips and valleys and hills. And what can hills block out? Hills can block out a lot of things. You'll notice in this video too, I'll have some, not right here in these couple of parts, but I'll have a couple of parts coming up where, you know, a bird will fly in front of me or another boat will be closer to me. And you'll see how much area that these block out in the background. And they'll block out your whole horizon line practically. Or a bird that flies in front of my screen is bigger than the boat that you see out on the horizon line. And this again is depth perception. You know, you got something that's farther away is just going to get smaller and smaller until it vanishes or it melts behind these waves. And that's what I see a lot. I see a lot of that occurring. Again, I put out a video where the shrinking boat, and this boat just shrunk down to nothing. And, you know, I happened to catch that on a good day, or it even could have been in my camera settings. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that it has a lot to do with these overcast days where the sun's not blaring full blast out there on the water, causing a lot of refraction, diffraction, you know, mirroring. So all of these things, again, play a big role, and that's my opinion. I will let anybody else comment on these, and, you know, you tell me what you see. Again, here out on this distance, you see this little smudge out there. That is a boat. Yes, my camera is not focusing in on that. It's focusing in on the water just fine, but it's having a hard time focusing in on that boat out there on that horizon line. And you can tell that if this was a, if there was a curve out there, that boat, that tiny little smudge of a dot, should have already been over the curvature of Earth. We should not even see it. We should not see any part of that. That should be well beyond the curvature of Earth. So that's why I said these observations are very important and very good proof that we are not looking over a curvature of Earth. We get deceived by these illusions that occur out on the water, but this is not an illusion. There is something definitely out there. My camera does not hallucinate. My camera is not on any drugs. My camera is videotaping and actually catching what it's catching. Yes, you can have camera optics that will fool you. And that's where I say, you know, like clouds behind the sun and moon. Yeah, and that's due to thin very low density clouds that you can actually see through the clouds when you're looking on a clear day, and then thin rolling clouds roll by. So these are some illusions that can occur in optical illusion, but there's no way that these little items are popping themselves up from the other side of the curve. So the farther we look out in the distance, the farther out these waves go, the farther distance it is, and the shorter distance actually amounts to a lot farther than what you think. So, each little, just say millimeter, is equivalent to so much, but the farther you get away, that little millimeter is miles. So, again, it's hard to determine exactly how far away these boats are, but let me tell you that these things are not, 2-3 miles away, 4 miles away, 5 miles away. These are much, much further. And I gotta say that a lot of my videos that I do watch when there's a lot of sun, I don't get to see these boats that far out. I do not see these boats that far out. Before they even get half that distance, they've done melted or been so distorted that they're just a little blob out there. And you'll see it if you start watching a lot of my videos. And a lot of times you don't really see these swells out here too. Now, when I'm over on this one angle, you kind of lose those swells. And I think that's because of the way that the wind is blowing. The depth of the water also plays a role in how much that water swells up in certain areas. If it's blowing across a shallow area, it might blow that water over a little easier than areas that are deep. I just don't know for sure. I'm not positive, but I know that this wind is affecting what we're seeing out on the horizon line. And, the positioning of where the sun is in the sky also plays that big role. How much light it's actually throwing on the water is what's going to start causing that, that mirroring effect. Now, if you look out there, you see this little darker line right at the edge of the water. And then above it, by that marker, you see something out there. Now, that's like looking at a glass of water, and as you zoom in on it, you'll get this little refraction edge to it. And I think that's what that's doing, and that's why I can't see that boat as well, because there is starting to get more light out there on the horizon line, and it's starting to get diffracted. It's starting to want to mirror the sky. Now, my first video, I probably should have put in the date that I was out there doing the video. I videoed, let's see, boy, that's kind of confusing. Let's see. When I started out on the first video, part 1 of this, it was at 1:16 p.m. and I videoed. I think there was 6 videos that I put out on these. Some were little ones, and then some were longer ones. But I videotaped all the way to 2:14. So about an hour's worth of video that I did, and that could be a start time on it. I could have started video on that. So it could actually be about 45 minutes of videoing. And then on the first video, the second video I put out was on 7/9 at 7/9/2016, and it was 8:26 p.m. So these ones here that are a little bit darker were done in the morning time, and or in the afternoon, and the one that was done before, I'm sorry, it was at 8:26 a.m. So the biggest majority of them were taken during the afternoon, and it was just that one that I put on there for an example. It was done at 8:26. To give you an idea of when these things were videotaped. And that was The ones I did the most of were filmed on March 12th, 2016. And I think I said the other one was 7/9/2016. So they were like 4 months apart. So, you get a different perspective, where that sun is positioned in the sky and how much light's coming from that sun is going to cause a lot of this mirroring, refraction, diffraction, reflection, mirroring. It's going to have everything to do with that. Again, I wish I would have got this under a little better focus. And my first videos were, and sometimes that starts out when you, first start out your video. If you don't get a good focus on the farthest horizon line, it seems like you can't pull it back in again or something. And maybe it was I might have had this set on the sports mode and just didn't adjust the focus. I'm not sure. It was so long ago. And like I said, I put these in my files, and I kind of forgot about a lot of them. I've been doing so many videos. I haven't even looked at all my videos completely yet. But like that boat going by, he blocks out so much of the background. He's huge. One person's head could block out 10 boats from on that horizon line. Somebody up closer. So again, what can a closer swell, a closer wave do to a boat that's farther out there? It can block it out. Like I said, these are like rolling hills, rolling water hills out there, and they do constantly change. So this is where you're getting the bottoms of the boats blocked out. And like I said, when it's really mirroring the sky a lot, what occurs is you don't even get to see that water that's blocking out the boat. The boat appears as if it's floating in the air. So by it floating in the air, you don't see that water. And you'll see that in a lot of my other videos. But one of the things that you do see is these boats are flying through the air. When they're splashing water, you'll see the wake splashes coming off the side of the boat, splashing out the water. So you got to realize that boat is still in the water. It's an illusion. That is one of the illusions that I say occur when you're videoing and there's a lot of mirroring going on, a lot of diffraction. You won't see this boat. It will be hidden in that mirroring. It will be hidden underneath that ramped up diffraction, or it'll be hidden behind waves that you don't see. Because again, all that water above that visible water line is just reflecting the sky. So it's blocking us totally out. So again, you have to really do these observations, and the more you observe, the more you start understanding what's causing these. Now, I may watch these several more times and see a few other things in here that I didn't see before. Like I said, being observant is important, but it's hard to catch everything. It's hard to see everything in your videos, especially these rolling waves and these wakes. Now, here's another boat way out there on the edge, and all of them always seem to be on the edge of this horizon line, but they just seem to get smaller and smaller and smaller. Now, you've seen the jet ski go in front of it, and the water that it was squirting up right there, it blocks out the boat. And you got to think about these closer objects are much bigger than that guy standing out there on that boat fishing, and you literally see the guy standing in his whole boat. Now, other videos I got, he's cut off because of that mirroring, and that's a good example of what I was saying about the mirroring. You wouldn't even see that boat if it was due to all the mirroring that I get on a lot of my videos. You wouldn't even see it. So, start observing. If you don't observe my videos, go out there, get your camera, get your zoom camera. You don't even need a 83 times zoom. You could use a lesser zoom camera and really get some good video and good pictures. So, instead of arguing with me on some of these things, go out there and observe, and you may observe these same things. If you want to watch my videos and observe them, I do nothing. I do nothing to these. These are just observational videos, and I do them for free. I do them so people that don't have the time or they don't have this camera, they can watch my videos. And again, they're for free. So you can get yourself educated on observational videos right here at Wide Awake. Again, I do want to thank all my subscribers again. I just recently got a bunch of new subscribers. I'm tickled to death over it, but that isn't why I do these videos. I do them, like I said, to let other people observe, and hopefully they're observing the same thing I'm observing. All right, again, thanks a lot for watching. Y'all have a good day, good night, good evening, good morning, whatever day it is for you, or time of the day that it is for you. You have a good one. Bye now.